Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel, Mindfulness Power. My name is Jamie. Lately, I've been thinking about vision and seeing and how we perceive things through these two optical things in our head called eyeballs. But more beyond that, it is how we see things in the mind and how you perceive the scope of your mindset in seeing things and what you want to visualize, for example. So, for example, if you want to see how your goals will come out within the next 365 days of the year, then you have to have a vision to map that out and see where you're going. Because if you don't know where you're going, or rather, if you can't see where you're going, then you don't know where you're going, right? But just because you can't see something doesn't mean it's there. And just because something is there doesn't mean you can fully see it properly, if that makes sense. That's how I view it. Oftentimes I find myself looking up into the infinity of space and wondering, how far can I truly see without realizing it? So, like, for example, you look up and you see the moon on a clear sky. And the moon is about anywhere from 300 to 400,000 kilometers away. And you're seeing that clearly, which is pretty cool. But beyond the moon, what are you seeing that you're not sure is there? You could be seeing like another planet or the edge of the universe, right? As a perspective. So, like, when you're looking out into the horizon and you're seeing as far as you can see, like, let's say you can see a really, really tall building, like a cityscape, or you're seeing some boats along the horizon. And but besides that, what can you see that you're not seeing that might be there? That's how I kind of like to perceive vision to be. And I find it interesting once you look at the specs of what you can and can't see, like like the light spectrum, right? There's ultraviolet light, there's radio waves, and all sorts of different frequencies and wavelengths that you can't see, right? And there's only like a certain percentage of visible light to invisible light that you can see. And then beyond that, you need special instruments and equipment to see the things that you cannot see. So when it comes to the stuff that's inside your skull, the stuff that's inside your mind, what makes up the composition of your mind, and the fact that you can imagine stuff. You can imagine a bicycle, you can imagine an elephant, you can imagine the planet, you can imagine the universe, and so on and so forth. You can imagine the whole scene of Endgame in Avengers Endgame going on in your head, right? So if you can see all those different things, even things that don't exist, it's kind of fascinating to how your vision, both tangible and intangible, imaginary and non-imaginary, can play into how you see things, right? So when it comes to using your vision and having a vision on where you want to go in life and how you want to plan your next steps, even if it's not clear, it doesn't have to be clear, you can still find a way to see past the clouds, see past the fog and the haze, to see a different perspective that might not be really there, right? So, and then that can probably give you some insight into thinking, okay, if I can't see it, but I sense that it's there in some way, shape, or form, then it is possible, right? Even if it doesn't visually seem possible, if it doesn't seem tangible at the moment in time, you can still find a way to get to that point, that goal, even if you don't see it yet. So always work on your vision, always work on your mindset, and always work on your mindfulness and your surroundings of how you visualize things and how you view things, and using just your overall perspective of reality in everyday life. And again, this is Jamie with Mindfulness Power. Catch you in the next one.